Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mikasa Sekai, your ultimate guide to everything amazing in the world of anime. It's your host, Mikasa, and today, we're diving into a show that promised a lot and delivered even more. I'm talking about a romantic comedy that looks you straight in the eye and says, forget everything you know about rom-coms. We all know the rules, right? There's the main character, there's the beautiful, popular girl he has a crush on, and then there's the childhood friend, the one who's always been there, who knows him better than anyone, who secretly loves him, and who always loses. It's a rule of the anime universe. It's practically a law of physics. But what if I told you there's a show that dares to break that law? A show that says, not today, old trope, not on my watch. This isn't just a romance story. It's a full-blown war of romantic strategy, a psychological battlefield of high school hearts. And today, we're going to get to the bottom of all the lies, the secrets, and the surprisingly genuine feelings in Osamake, rom-com, where the childhood friend won't lose. So, grab your popcorn, get comfortable, and let's jump right into the chaotic world of these high school schemers. So, to understand this glorious mess of a show, we need to meet the three key players. Think of them as the king and two queens in a very confusing game of chess. First, we have our main character, the guy right in the middle of all this drama, Sueharu Maru. On the surface, Sueharu seems like a pretty average high school guy. He's kind of just there. He doesn't really stand out, which is exactly how he wants it. But here's the thing, he has a huge secret. Sueharu used to be a very famous child actor, known all over the country. He was talented, he was cute, he was a big deal. But for personal reasons, and this is a big deal in the show, he quit acting a long time ago. Something really bad happened involving his mother's death, and it made him give it all up. He just wanted to live a quiet, normal life and forget his past. He literally tried to become invisible. And you know how it goes in anime, right? As soon as a character says, I just want a normal life, you know things are about to get anything but normal. Sueharu is a good kid, maybe a little dense when it comes to girls, but his heart is in the right place. He's the perfect, unsuspecting target for the romantic whirlwind that's about to hit him. Now, let's meet the two girls vying for his attention, and trust me when I say, they are anything but normal. First, there's Shirakusa Kachi. Shirakusa-san. She is, for lack of a better word, perfect. She's gorgeous. She's the most popular girl in school. And get this, she's an award-winning novelist, a real published author in high school. She's basically living the perfect life, and everyone knows it. Sueharu, of course, has a massive crush on her. He sees her as this unattainable goddess, this flawless girl who could never possibly notice him. He's totally smitten, and he thinks he's just another face in the crowd for her. But what Sueharu doesn't know, and what we as the audience get to find out, is that there's a lot more going on behind those beautiful eyes. Shirakusa is not just a perfect girl, she's a master planner, a strategic genius. She's been watching Sueharu, and her motives are far from innocent. She has a hidden history with him, and it's the key to this whole confusing story. She's not just a crush. Kuroha is the classic childhood friend. She's energetic, she's got this big sister vibe, and she's always there for Sueharu. She's known him forever. They have that easy, comfortable relationship that only people who grew up together can have. She's the kind of girl who would bring you soup if you were sick and punch a guy who was making fun of you. She's loyal, she's kind, and she's secretly, deeply in love with Sueharu. But, as I mentioned earlier, she already confessed her feelings to him once, and he turned her down. This is what makes her different from a lot of other childhood friends in anime. She's already been rejected. It hurt her, but she didn't give up. She stayed his friend, waiting for her chance. And when that chance came, she didn't just sit back and hope. She decided to go to war for his heart. Kuroha is the driving force behind the chaos. Her loyalty is real, but her methods are, well, you'll see. So, there you have it. A guy who wants a simple life, a perfect girl with a secret grudge, and a childhood friend with a plan for revenge. The stage is set for absolute romantic chaos. The whole story kicks into high gear when Sueharu decides to finally make a move on Shirakusa. He gets all his courage together and goes to confess to her. He's nervous, his heart is pounding. He probably has a whole speech planned out, but before he can even get the words out, he finds out she has a boyfriend. Not just any boyfriend, but a super famous actor named Abe. Abe is like the perfect guy, handsome, successful, and basically everything Sueharu isn't. Sueharu's heart shatters into a million little pieces. He's crushed, he's embarrassed, and he's feeling really down. Just as he's at his lowest point, who shows up? Kuroha, his childhood friend. She sees his pain and, instead of just saying, "It's okay," she proposes a plan. A crazy, wild, and brilliant plan. She tells him, "Let's pretend to date. We'll make Shirakusa jealous. It'll be our revenge." Now, in a normal show, this might be a sweet gesture, but in Osamake, it's the start of a tactical war. Kuroha's plan is genius. By dating Sueharu, she gets to spend time with him, get closer to him, and hope that his pretend feelings for her become real feelings. Plus, she gets to see Shirakusa squirm a little. Sueharu, still hurt and wanting to feel a little bit of power, agrees. He's totally in the dark about what's really happening. He thinks it's a simple little game, but he has no idea that the other side is playing just as hard. Because here's the thing, Shirakusa's boyfriend Abe, he's completely fake, a total lie. I know, right? The whole thing was a setup. Shirakusa has a hidden past with Sueharu. They knew each other as kids when he was a child actor. She was secretly a huge fan of his, and they were friends. But when his mother died, he quit acting and seemingly disappeared from her life without a word. Shirakusa felt totally betrayed and hurt. Her revenge plot was to make Sueharu fall for her, get his hopes up, and then break his heart, just like she felt he broke hers. She wanted to make him feel the same pain. So, get this. Kuroha is using a fake relationship to get revenge on Shirakusa, and Shirakusa is using a fake relationship to get revenge on Sueharu. Everyone is playing a game, and Sueharu is just the guy caught in the middle of it all. It's not just a rom-com, it's a spy thriller disguised as a high school dating show. The humor in this show comes from the characters' over-the-top schemes. They're so smart and so strategic, but they're also just high school kids who are completely clueless about real feelings. They're constantly trying to one-up each other with romantic gestures that are actually just calculated moves. We see Kuroha and Sueharu go on dates that are hilarious because they're so fake. But as they go on, they start to feel a little more real. Meanwhile, Shirakusa, who is supposed to be jealous, is secretly working on her own plan. She starts hanging out with Sueharu under the pretense of being a good friend, all while trying to sabotage his fake relationship with Kuroha. It's like a romantic version of a Cold War. As if this wasn't complicated enough, the romantic battlefield expands. We get another contender for Sueharu's heart, and you guessed it, she's another childhood friend. This is Momosaka Maria. She's a talented artist and another one of Sueharu's old friends from his acting days. She's a little more quiet and reserved than the others, but she's just as determined. Maria sees the mess that's happening with Kuroha and Shirakusa, and she decides to jump in with her own strategies. Her moves are more subtle. She'll paint a portrait of him, or use her art to express her feelings, but it's all part of the same game. She's a wild card, and she makes the situation even more unpredictable. And get this, there are even more layers to this onion. Shirakusa's little sister, Rena Ichinose, is another character in the mix. She's not a direct romantic rival, but she's basically a secret agent for her sister. She reports back to Shirakusa on all of Sueharu and Kuroha's fake dates. It's a full-blown spy network. Then there's Tetsuhiko Shuchan Kai, Sueharu's best guy friend, who acts as the voice of reason and the clueless observer of all the madness. He's like the audience's stand-in, just watching this chaos unfold with a mix of confusion and awe. The show is constantly shifting. One episode, it looks like Kuroha is winning. The next, Shirakusa pulls off a brilliant move that gets her closer to Sueharu. Then Maria swoops in and makes him think about their shared past. You're never really sure who to root for or who is telling the truth. It's a fantastic ride that keeps you guessing. The beauty of it is that underneath all the planning, the girls are genuinely falling for Sueharu, and he's slowly starting to see their true colors and their real feelings. The line between what's a game and what's real, love, gets blurrier with every single episode. The show explores some really interesting themes here. It makes you ask, is a love that starts with a lie still real? Does a childhood grudge justify a manipulative game? What is more important, a past connection or a present moment? It takes all those questions and wraps them up in a hilarious, over-the-top story. As we get closer to the end of the show, all these carefully constructed plans start to fall apart. The lies can't hold up forever, and the characters are forced to confront the truth. Sueharu finally realizes that Shirakusa's boyfriend was a fake, and that her whole plan was to get revenge on him for his past actions. He also realizes that Kuroha's fake relationship was also part of a scheme. This is the big turning point. Sueharu is no longer a clueless pawn. He's now fully aware of the game, and he feels betrayed and confused by everyone. He realizes that all the girls, in their own way, have been playing with his feelings. This is where the story gets more serious, and the comedy takes a backseat to the real emotions. The girls who have been so focused on winning have to face the consequences of their actions. The climax of the season happens at a school festival. All the rivalries and emotions come to a head. It's a big, messy confrontation where everything is finally out in the open. The characters have to stop their games and be honest about their feelings for the first time. Sueharu, in the middle of it all, has to make a choice. He has to decide who he truly wants to be with. Now, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Who does he choose? Does he go with the perfect girl, Shirakusa, and try to mend their complicated past? Does he go with the artistic and quiet Maria? Or does he finally see what has been right in front of him all along with Kuroha? And in a move that I think we can all agree is just so awesome, he chooses Kuroha. That's right, the childhood friend, the one who was supposed to lose, the one who was rejected at the beginning of the show, is the one who wins his heart in the end. But why? It's not just because the title says so. Sueharu realizes that while all the girls were playing games, Kuroha's feelings were the most genuine. Yes, she started a revenge plot, but it was out of love for him and a desperate hope to get closer. Shirakusa's plot, on the other hand, was rooted in a past grudge and a desire to hurt him. While both girls were manipulative, Kuroha's love was built on a foundation of genuine friendship and care that had lasted their whole lives. Sueharu finally sees that he can't imagine his life without her in it. He chooses the person who has always been his true friend, his partner, and the one who loves him for exactly who he is. It's a beautiful ending that really makes the show stand out. It says that sometimes the love that's already there is the most important one. It's not a victory for the perfect girl or the manipulative one. It's a victory for the loyal, unwavering, and honest friend. So, why is this show so good? It's not just the surprise ending. It's a perfect mix of things that make it so much fun to watch. First, the comedy is top-notch. The exaggerated schemes and the ridiculous situations the characters get into are just hilarious. You'll find yourself laughing at the sheer audacity of some of their plans. Second, the characters are smart. Even though they're teenagers, they're not just sitting around waiting for things to happen. They're active players in the story. You love them, you hate them, but you can't stop watching them. Third, it takes a beloved but tired romantic trope and completely reinvents it. It's a breath of fresh air in the rom-com genre, and it proves that you can still tell an original story even with a classic setup. And finally, at its core, it's a story about finding real love amidst all the chaos. It's about learning to see past the games and finding the person who truly cares about you, even when they're trying to make you jealous with a fake relationship. If you're looking for a romantic comedy that's smart, funny, and surprisingly emotional, then you absolutely have to watch Osamake. Rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and I promise you won't be bored for a single second. So, tell me in the comments below, were you surprised by the ending? Who did you think Sueharu should have chosen? And what's your favorite rom-com that has a surprising twist? Let's talk about it. And hey, if you loved this deep dive, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. We've got so many more anime worlds to explore right here on Mikasa Sekai. Until next time, stay awesome, keep watching anime, and remember, the childhood friend never truly loses if their love is real.